Happy Black History Month! Now let's talk about it. For those that may have not seen this incredible movie, Hidden Figures, yet, I highly recommend that you do. And for those of you such as myself that have already seen it and multiple times, I rate it a 10 out of 10 every single time. It is one of the best movies ever made, and it is helping to end toxic racism. One of my brothers, Caleb, who happens to be my current favorite brother, by the way, and I entered in a history fair years ago when we were very young with some of our other siblings, and our little exhibit was on George Washington Carver. Let me show you some photos. My, oh my, but we were so young back then and so cute. That is me, obviously, and that is Caleb. And this is our beautiful display table and board with little facts and little informative pieces and little display items that we were trying to just show everyone, like, our appreciation of George Washington Carver and sharing history. Because it is a history fair where you dress up or where you present things and make a really wonderful illustration and display and everything. Back in my younger days, I used to be an avid scrapbooker, and I made a couple pages on George Washington Carver. Here is an example of some of the beautiful work that I put together for him. I have another wonderful thing that I would like to share with you. My stepdaughter is probably 25% Black, African American, and that is something that I think is so amazing. Next, let's talk about where I live and the cultural makeup. I live in Mississippi, and the cultural makeup here in the South is literally, as far as I see, half Black and half white. It's really interesting to me because everywhere I've ever lived previously, it was always Hispanic, Latino, Mexican, and white, like half and half. But here I'm like, oh my goodness, I've never been around so many African American people in my life, and I love it. As a lot of you will know, I support All Lives Matter, which means I support Black lives, white lives, Hispanic lives, Asian lives, Indigenous lives, all lives. There isn't one type of culture or ethnicity or race, whatever you want to call it, that's better than the other. We have major diversity and beautiful differences, but we are still equal. Like in God's eyes, we are all human beings, but we have different skin tones and different backgrounds and different stuff like that. So this whole issue of the Black Lives Matter movement versus All Lives Matter movement, we need to talk about a little bit more. While there are those that actually have good intentions behind the BLM movement, there are also unfortunately those that do not have good intentions behind the Black Lives Matter movement. Does racism still exist? Unfortunately, yes. But ending racism with more racism doesn't solve anything. You cannot get a right out of two wrongs. So cheers to solving problems, celebrating victories, and loving the entire human race.